Why gas engines are far from dead. Biggest EV problems. Many people believe that electric vehicles, EVs, are the way of the future when it comes to transportation. Nevertheless, gas-powered engines are not even close to being extinct. Even while electric vehicles are becoming increasingly popular, there are still a number of important obstacles that prevent their general acceptance. Due to factors such as limited range and lengthy charging times, as well as the high costs of electric vehicles and the infrastructure required to support them, gas engines continue to provide a level of convenience and dependability that electric vehicles have not yet been able to match. Because of this, gas-powered vehicles will continue to be the dominating force in the automobile industry for the foreseeable future, despite the fact that they hold the promise of providing transportation that is both cleaner and more environmentally friendly. Number 9. Limited range and charging infrastructure. Range anxiety. While modern electric vehicles, EVs, have improved their range to accommodate most daily commutes, they still fall short of the distance capabilities of gas-powered vehicles. Many EVs offer ranges between 250 to 350 miles per charge, whereas gas-powered cars can often exceed 400 miles on a single tank. This disparity becomes a concern for drivers undertaking long trips or traveling in areas with limited charging infrastructure, where the fear of running out of charge, known as range anxiety, remains a significant deterrent. Charging infrastructure. A robust and accessible charging network is critical for widespread EV adoption, but gaps still exist, particularly in rural and less densely populated areas. Number 8. Charging time. Gasoline engines offer unparalleled convenience when it comes to refueling, taking just a few minutes to fill up and get back on the road. In contrast, electric vehicles, EVs, even with advancements in fast charging technology, require significantly more time for a substantial recharge. Fast charging stations can deliver an 80% charge in about 20 to 30 minutes, under ideal conditions. But this is still far slower than the quick refueling process of gas-powered vehicles. For a full charge, the time can extend to an hour or more, particularly on standard charging equipment. This difference in refueling time can be a major inconvenience for drivers, especially on long trips or in situations where time is limited. Number 7. High purchase price. Electric vehicles, EVs, typically carry a higher upfront cost compared to gas-powered vehicles, making affordability a significant barrier for many consumers. While technological advancements and economies of scale are gradually driving prices down, EVs, particularly high-end models, still tend to be more expensive than their combustion engine counterparts. Tax incentives and government subsidies can offset some of this cost, but not all buyers qualify, and these incentives may not fully bridge the gap. A major contributor to the higher price is the cost of EV batteries, which represent a substantial portion of the vehicle's manufacturing expense. Until battery production becomes more cost-efficient, this price disparity is likely to persist, limiting broader adoption. Number 6. Battery longevity and disposal. Battery lifespan. Over time, electric vehicle, EV, batteries naturally degrade, leading to a reduced ability to hold a full charge and, consequently, a diminished driving range. While most EV manufacturers provide warranties that cover battery performance for a set number of years or miles, eventually replacing a battery can be a costly expense, often amounting to thousands of dollars. This potential long-term cost can deter some consumers from committing to EVs. Environmental impact of batteries. The production and life cycle of EV batteries raise significant environmental concerns. Extracting raw materials like lithium, cobalt, and nickel involves energy-intensive mining processes that can harm ecosystems and contribute to greenhouse gas emissions. Number 5. Consumer habit and comfort. Gas-powered vehicles have long been a cornerstone of convenience for consumers, offering widespread access to refueling stations, minimal downtime during refueling, and the established reliability of modern combustion engines. These attributes align seamlessly with daily routines, requiring little thought or adaptation. In contrast, switching to an electric vehicle often necessitates significant lifestyle adjustments, such as planning for charging times, installing home charging equipment, and adapting to the limited availability of charging infrastructure in certain areas. For many, this shift also demands a new mindset about vehicle range and trip planning, which can feel cumbersome compared to the effortless familiarity of gas-powered cars. This inertia toward change underscores the challenge of widespread EV adoption. Number 4. Weather sensitivity. For electric vehicles, EVs extreme temperatures provide a significant difficulty since they have a direct impact on the efficiency of the battery and, as a result, the range of the vehicle. The chemical reactions that take place within the battery might be slowed down by cold temperatures, which in turn reduces the battery's capacity to properly hold and deliver charge. In many cases, this leads to a significant reduction in range, with some electric vehicles losing as much as 40% of their estimated range when operating in cold conditions. In a similar vein, excessive heat can put a strain on the battery management system because it requires energy to be redirected to power cooling devices in order to keep the operating temperatures at their appropriate levels. Number 3. Availability of EV models. The electric vehicle EV market faces significant hurdles in scaling up production, primarily due to supply chain constraints tied to the procurement of critical raw materials like lithium, cobalt, and nickel, essential for EV batteries. These materials are not only finite, but also subject to geopolitical and environmental challenges that impact their availability and cost. Furthermore, transitioning to widespread EV manufacturing demands extensive investments in new infrastructure, including retooling factories, establishing robust charging networks, and advancing battery technology. This shift requires both time and capital, creating bottlenecks that slow the mass adoption of EVs and maintain reliance on traditional internal combustion vehicles for the foreseeable future. Number 2. Production and supply chain challenges. The electric vehicle EV market faces significant hurdles in scaling up production, primarily due to supply chain constraints tied to the procurement of critical raw materials like lithium, cobalt, and nickel, essential for EV batteries. These materials are not only finite, but also subject to geopolitical and environmental challenges that impact their availability and cost. Furthermore, transitioning to widespread EV manufacturing demands extensive investments in new infrastructure, including retooling factories, establishing robust charging networks, and advancing battery technology. This shift requires both time and capital, creating bottlenecks that slow the mass adoption of EVs and maintain reliance on traditional internal combustion vehicles for the foreseeable future. Number 1. Lack of sound and feel. When it comes to many people who are passionate about automobiles, the appeal of driving a gas-powered vehicle, particularly a sports car, extends beyond the performance of the vehicle itself. It is the sensory experience that comes along with it. A visceral excitement is provided to the driver by the deep scream of a strong engine, the characteristic growl that occurs during acceleration, and the resonating sound of the exhaust. This thrill stimulates the driver in ways that go beyond simple speed. This connection between the driver and the vehicle is difficult to reproduce in electric vehicles, since it is created by the combination of these aural elements and the tactile feedback from the engine within the vehicle. Thanks for watching and subscribing channel.